Wow, Arsenal's youth shine today. Lewis-Skelly was actually probably my man of the match, but that Nwaneri kid, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. He's exceptional. 2 goals. You can say, oh, it's only Bolton. But when you're a kid who's, what, is he 17 years of age, playing professional football with fully grown men, to be getting goals is unbelievable, particularly at his age. To be contributing to the game like he did, it wasn't just the goals, the performance he showed was unreal. And I hate to admit this, but Arsenal's youngsters look unreal. Skelly and Nwaneri, they had multiple feature today. And I think my biggest criticism of Arteta as a non-Arsenal fan, as a Man United fan, is, he should give youth more of a chance. He's not really had youth come through. You lost, obviously, Obi Martin to us because of he felt he could maybe get more opportunities at United. But today, we saw the Arsenal youth sign. I think Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri were the standout to me, but Nichols did well. Porter did well as well. I thought Arsenal looked great. I mean, Sterling looked playing with confidence. I think he's going to be a good signing under Arsenal, like Kai Havertz improved under Arteta. I think Sterling will, but we've got to talk about Nwaneri, am I saying his name right? And Lewis-Skelly. I'm going to do a segment on those two players because they've really caught my eye. And, I'm always someone that's a big fan of like youth football and following it coming through. So I was aware of the talents they are. Mikey Moore at Tottenham, Manchester United have got a few good youngsters that could maybe come through, like Harry Amos and Shea Lacey. I'm always following the top youngsters, but you can see them in the academy and then they go to the first team and they just don't adapt to the physicality and stuff. But Nwaneri and Lewis-Skelly, they looked composed. They looked technically ready. They looked physically composed. I know it's Bolton, but this is first team football and they look like they're comfortable and they've been playing for a while. And I remember watching them in pre-season and they were really impressive as well. But let's talk about the youngsters at Arsenal because I think that's what stole the show today. And I'm going to be honest, I was watching the Man United game, the Liverpool game and the Arsenal game all at once. If I do miss bits, I'm sorry, but it was the youngsters that caught my eye. So I want to focus on that. And I saw this from Men in Blazers, 4 teenagers younger than the Emirates Stadium. Ethan Nwaneri, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Josh Nichols and Jack Porter made their first starts for Arsenal on a 5-1 win versus Bolton, with Nwaneri scoring twice. 2 more 18-year-old made debuts off the bench. Young gunners showing the future is bright. And, Arteta showing, he's starting to give youth a chance. I think with Odegaard's injury and with Nwaneri actually getting goal contributions, maybe Arteta will start to play him a little bit more because I think we've seen in the past that sometimes players are ready at such young age. Jude Bellingham's done it in the past. Manchester United had to rely on Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho when they were 18, 19 to pull us out the mud. Obviously, Arsenal have got an unbelievable squad and are favourites to win the title, so it's harder to take that risk on youth. But I felt that they looked so comfortable and confident. Nwaneri is 17, Skelly 17, Potter is 16, which is absolutely insane. Nichols is 18 as well. And I'd never heard of the guys that come off the bench. I'm going to be totally honest with you. But let's talk about Nwan. I don't know if I'm saying his name. Let's talk about Ethan. Because I did a video about Odegaard's injury and if he could be used. And wow, today was fantastic. I actually think Lewis-Skelly might be my man of the match. But I'm going to talk about Ethan first because he got the goals. What I liked about him before I read out these statistics was his eagerness to get involved, get forward, make things happen, run forward. He won possession 3 times. And I think this is something I want to point out. Arteta loves goals, but Arteta loves players that are going to win their duels. Arteta loves off the ball. He loves the defensive side. You saw with the display versus Manchester City. You saw versus Atalanta. Arsenal were the best defensive side in the world, and Arteta likes that. So Nwaneri not just contributing going forward, but contributing defensively. Arteta's going to love that. Won the ball 3 times, won his duels, but he created 2 chances. He was making things happen. He was getting between the lines, breaking the lines. His final ball when execution was good. His vision IQ was good. He had 2 shots, 2 goals, very clinical, 5 touches in the opposition's box, getting forward, making it tick. I mean, he looked pretty ready. I wouldn't say he's 100% ready. I think that would be crazy to say at 17, but he looked like, take a chance on him, give him a few more minutes because 2 goals scored today, it's going to give him confidence. And he also showed he had output, although output, because I haven't proofread it. If you're getting output at a young age, that's great because you've got to be, aesthetically pleasing on the eye test, you good to watch, but also at a team like Arsenal, you need to get output. If you want to win the league, you need output. Trossard gets output. That's why he's such a good outlet to have off the bench. Martinelli did have output in his 22-23. He needs to improve that. Saka is aesthetically pleasing and has outlet, and that's why he's hands down Arsenal's best winger. Nwaneri, he also shows elements of that. Now, I saw someone say this, and I wrote it down, I somewhat agree. He has a playing style a little bit like James Rodriguez, and I completely agree with that. He reminds me a little bit of prime James Rodriguez, but I also think in terms of him being left-footed, he also has elements of Foden because of the technical ability, but I think his running power and his power in general, he looks more physically better than Foden, which may mean he's ready at a younger age. Foden was moulded in for a while before he was regular at City. He may be better because of his physicality, but I think he was so elegant. I think he was controlling the game, was making difficult passes, and his foot and his movement and his quick movements and his passing and his, I think, technique in the pass, and was trying difficult things on. He wasn't playing it safe. This was his moment. He wanted to shine. I thought it was really good. I thought, he showed that he could be ready for big game minutes. I think the maturity and sort of the pace of play was interesting. He knew when to hold the ball, slow it down. He knew when to move the ball quicker. And I think because he looked physically ready, he looked mature, his decision-making was good, his movement and IQ was good, but also he's got the technical skill capped with, I think, just the youthful energy and wanting to prove a point and getting in the final third and wanting to make things happen, which I think Arsenal, under Arteta, they've been praised defensively, but sometimes in the final third, there's been times where I think Arsenal fans have been frustrated. He was showing that, and I think his movement, his directness, his drive was brilliant, and I think he could be great for Arsenal. I remember writing this on him when Odegaard got injured in the international break, and I said, from what I know and the research I've done and what I'd watched of him, he's versatile, he's intelligent, he's creative, he excels best in the 10 role, but could go out wide, could go centre forward. His close control, press resistance, technical ability is good. His ability to link up, quick 1-2s, movement, pass control, movement, difficult pass, receive the ball at different angles, dribble with the ball was good, and in tight spaces, wiggling it around was good, and he showed that today he can make the most out of tight spaces, and his output's always been good. For 17, obviously his technical level is insane, and that's probably why he's so highly rated. Had that low centre of gravity, was resisting the press well, clever guy. Spatial awareness, runs I thought was really good, getting into the box for the goal, runs was really, really good. And I think he's just very good at running into box. He brings that running power. And I think he's got a bit of James Rodriguez and Foden, but he's got the running power that I think Foden lacks. And he's just shown he's a good finisher, 2 out of 2. I remember he scored 5 goals in the second half of the game versus Crew. The output's been there. And I also thought his scanning off the ball was good as well. But let's talk about my man of the match, Lewis-Skelly. This is a guy I'm less familiar with. I think Ethan, he seems to be Arsenal's sort of standout guy from the academy. But I remember that play from Skelly to Sterling to Nwaneri. I thought that team play was brilliant. It came through Skelly. I think his build-up was, I think he was good in build-up. I think his ability on the ball was really good. The defence splitting passes, he was breaking the lines. I think that's such an underrated trait to have. And I think that's something on the left-hand side that brought a new dynamic to Arsenal. I think he's so good on the ball and so composed. I think like Nwaneri, he's very technically comfortable on the ball, very press resistant, very composed. I think there was times where I think he's not as physically good as Ethan, but he seems comfortable. He seems happy on the ball. He seems like he's not worried. He has that maturity and composure that is really good for his age. I think the reason him and Ethan are coming through is because of the technical ability, the athleticism, the composure, the work rate to get behind the ball, do what Arteta demands. As soon as the ball's off, get behind, know your position, win it back. And then the technicality on the ball in tight spaces was unbelievable as well. I just want to say as well, he looked like he'd been playing for ages. And as a Man United fan, Kobbie Mainoo stood out to me instantly, and obviously he ended up starting for England in the Euros final after playing about 4 months of professional football. And the reason Kobbie Mainoo stood out to me instantly as a Manchester United fan was because how composed he was. We had Casemiro being erratic and giving it away, McTominay being erratic, Bruno being erratic, giving it away, and then Mainoo come in, and we were playing crap, but Mainoo just kept holding the ball and give it to me, I'll win it back, I'll do this, I'll do that. And Mainoo just looked like he'd been playing for like 50 years for us. Like he played 50 games for us. He looked like the most experienced player on the pitch. And Skelly reminded me of that. Absolutely reminded me of that. And I think for me, I thought in the first half, particularly in terms of his ability to direct play, his confidence, I actually thought he was Arsenal's best player. I think Nwaneri is the most exciting, the linking up, the driving of attacks, looking to make things happen. I think Skelly just taking risks, splitting the defence, the dribbling, the composure, like he'd been playing for ages. I thought that Arsenal's youth was really impressive, and I think both Skelly and Nwaneri could be technically ready at their age as well. Also, Kai Havertz coming on, getting him a goal as well. Kai Havertz seems to be a bit of an input monster. I thought Jorginho had a very good game. I think Saka should have been rested, if I'm going to be honest. My biggest criticism of Arteta is rest Saka, because I feel like he is your winger. He's got an output in every Premier League game. Do you not want him fresh for, is it Leicester? I mean, I guess Leicester's one that you think can probably win. I don't know, I would have probably said maybe Saka needs a rest, but I thought that I thought that he was good. Anyway, please hit the like button, subscribe down below if you're new, and also in the description I'm going to put a link to the Football Content Awards. Now, I've been nominated for 3 awards at the Football Content Awards. That is crazy. Best in Video Individual, which will be the first one that comes up on the voting page, or second one. I've also been nominated for Best Influencer, which has people like Fabrizio Romano in that category, so I don't think I'm going to get enough votes to win that. And then I've also been nominated for Best Club Content Creator Premier League, saying, you know, do I make the best Premier League content? There's also some other great people in there, but if you could click the link in the description and vote for Alice in the Football Content Awards, it would be greatly appreciated. I'll probably pin it in the comments if I remember. Thank you for watching. Bye.